I'm going to take a look at AGN, and it's a dividend stock on the S&P 500. We want to take a look at this. I know a lot of people like buying dividend stocks. I had some time on my IRA. It's typically where I trade the dividend type securities. Um, if you're trying to get the dividends, obviously you have to buy the stock. You can't really trade with options. So that's one reason I trade it in my IRA when most of my other accounts I just trade options. We're going to take a look at AGN. It's one that I would like to get into. We'll talk about good buy areas and what I think would be an area that this would be a good stock for you to try to get into. We're going to start out looking at the Bollinger Bands for AGN on a Bollinger Band indicator. Obviously right here we had this contraction was the best point to try to get into this after this gap up. A move down, and you had some consolidation. This right here was through this area was another good area as you had these Bollinger Bands really contracting. You can also see this on the TTM squeeze indicator where that you had a lot of contraction there, and this would have been good buy areas. It just so it's not always that way, so don't just say, oh, I see red, I'm going to buy. That's not the way I use this indicator, but it is a confirmation that we've got some contraction and that it's going to make a move one direction or the other. This does not tell you which direction is going to make a move through here. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. Look at your trends. We're going to take a look at that today also. As I look at AGN right now, just looking at the Bollinger Band indicator, it's at the 1 ATR. You could buy here with this indicator and the way I trade it. It's a little worrisome to me that the 52-week highs right here. Also, you've got green dots down here, which means that these have expanded, but they are showing a reduction of momentum here as the bars have changed colors. I typically don't like to go long when they're the slider color here, like through here. I'd rather go long in this area if there's a spot to do that. And here this was actually short, but I would have been nervous about shorting this too much after that gap up. But I guess you could play a gap fill, but I don't play a lot of those. So, right here looking at the Bollinger Bands, I think you've got potential for a buy here if you wanted to try to go long. Because it's a dividend stock, I typically would give a little bit wider range on a stop down into this level below this price action. Let's see what the other indicators look like before we make a decision. This is my wave indicator, and what this is telling me is this is not a good buy area. You've got RSI that is above 70. You've got it trading at the above the 2 ATR Keltner range. It's way away from the wave. Now that I look at this indicator, I'm leaning toward this is not a good buy. And so, like I said, this is why I use multiple charts to get an idea of what price action is really doing. This RSI, yes, it has been above 70 for a long time, and it could continue above 70. But I trade in probabilities, and when it's trading up in this area, it's more likely, more probable that we're going to get relief of this RSI either through consolidation or a move down. So trading up at this level based on this wave pattern, this does not look like a good buy. Let's look at the my other chart, my indicators. This is my moving average indicator, and you can see from this we've got stacked EMAs here, 10, 20, 30. This is a 50 and 200 simple. It's hugging this 10. So any touch of this 10 on this chart would to me indicate a potential buy. So I would have to have it at least pull back to 184 for it to be a buy right now. And of course, as this continues, this will also go up. We're getting a little bit of leveling out here. It's not as steep as it was here, which I also would like to see this level out a little. I don't like to buy when this 10 is steeply moving away from the other moving averages. We've got kind of a steep 50 here. 200 is not bad, but we are coming off of a downtrend back here. So the 200 is just changing direction through here. So that's something you got to watch out for also. On this particular chart, as I look at it, a touch in the 184 range would be a potential long on this chart. But let's take a look back at the Bollinger Bands to see what that would put us. 184 would be right here, which would actually be below this 1 ATR band, so that would be a buy zone on this chart. And then we come to this one. 184 would be right here. I'm going to be honest with you, I would pass on this trade right now. and it's based primarily on this chart. I do not like how far away from the wave we are here. I do not like this RSI. This is one of the cases where I have two charts telling me that there's a buy zone at 184, but my third chart, which is this wave chart, is telling me that the buy zone should be in the 182 range right now. Now that does move up as this moves, and that can change. But my recommendation to you today would be not to buy here. It doesn't mean it won't continue up. I'm just talking about what the more probable, what the safer trade is. And I believe a safer trade would be when it traded back into this wave here even, although it did continue down. I would not have taken this trade just because I had this downtrend that was trying to form back here, and I was worried about a gap fill. But here, where it started back up, you might have went long here, or you might have waited to here or here. These were actually the best buy zones for this particular security. So, my recommendation to you right now on AGN is to wait. I'm not telling you it won't go higher. I'm just telling you that the probabilities say that a safer trade is down into this, 180, probably 2 range as this moves up, maybe 183. But I certainly would not buy right now at 185.25, not with this RSI like this. I've got to see this RSI break some before I really want to think about going along. And here, when you had the trade, you had a good RSI. You had a good RSI here where this trade showed up. Back in, here, if you had decided this was it was continuing back to an uptrend, if you had decided this was a good buy, then you would have had a good RSI, here also. But right here, it's just not a good buy. It's not a high probability trade. Yes, it may go up. Yes, it may continue up. But I'm going to have to pass. I'm not going to buy this one here. Again, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to look for buys in this area. And if you can let me know what you think in the comments, because like I said, I do have two charts that are identifying 184 as a potential long area, and I'm gonna trust this chart, which is my wave chart, primarily because of this. This RSI just really concerns me. I just don't see how it can continue up. If you like this video, let me know. Please subscribe to the channel. Please let me know your comments below. Please like the video. I'd like to know what you think, whether you think you would be comfortable going along here. And again, it might continue up. But I'm a probability trader, and I just cannot go long with this RSI and this distance away from my wave over the 2 ATR Keltner channel. So let me know what you think, and I always like to hear from you. Thanks.